Boker Tov, good morning everybody, and today we say Chodesh Tov. Today is a special Chodesh. It's the day of the last day of the month of Tishrei and the first day of Cheshvan, jumping into the sea of the regular day-to-day life. It's wonderful, and it's great that everybody's here. Thank you so much to Raya and Mordechai for hosting this year and broadcasting this year to all of us. Over the past couple of days, we started a new subject discussing the 6 constant mitzvot, which are discussed in the Sefer HaChinuch and in the Rambam, according to the teachings of Chassidut. And the first one we began elaborating on yesterday, and hopefully today we're going to continue. The first of the 6 mitzvot, which are constant mitzvot, is laha'amin b'Hashem, to believe, to have faith in HaShem. Yesterday we elaborated on the point. Yesterday we elaborated on the point that emunah is a great foundation of Am Yisroel in the Jewish nation, and we have it deeply in our DNA. And it's our job to be able to nurture it and to bring it to life into action. There's a very interesting verse that we say every morning in the Az Yashir, the song that was sung by Am Yisroel after crossing over the Yam Suf, crossing through the Sea of Reeds. We say Az Yashir Moshe. And over there, one of the verses, a beautiful verse, it says, this is my God, and I'm going to beautify him. He is the God of my father, and I will exalt him. The simple meaning is that every single individual was on the level of a prophet, even a baby, even a child in its mother's womb, proclaimed Zeh. They would point with their finger to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeh keli v'anvehu. This is my God, and I will beautify him. That was a great level of revelation of godliness. On a deeper level, this verse can be translated. Actually, before the deeper level, I want to share with you what the Talmud says. That from this verse, we learn that we're supposed to beautify HaShem with mitzvot. In other words, you have a choice. You can do a mitzvah in the minimum level, and then you have a choice to do the very same mitzvah in a beautiful level. So the classical example is what we recently had in the Chag of Sukkot. We had a lulav and an esrog, and of course the hadassim and the aravot. The esrog, or the etrog, is a very beautiful citrus fruit, and it's customary to do your best to try to find the best, nicest, shiniest, most beautiful fruit to fulfill the mitzvah. We learn this in the Talmud from the verse that says, Zeh keli v'anvehu, and I will beautify him. The mitzvah is to beautify Hashem through his mitzvot. Now let's move on to the deeper interpretation, which is relevant to our subject of emunah. If you pay attention to the words that are being said over here, it's Zeh keli v'anvehu. This is my God, and I will beautify him. Mine, it's my God. Hashem is my God. It's personal. And then we say, Elokei avi v'aromemenu. He's the God of my father, and I will exalt him. So over here we're talking about, in the second part of the phrase, we're saying, he is the God of my father. Now, obviously, my Hashem, the Hashem of my father, and the Hashem of everyone in the world. But over here we're talking on 2 different levels of how Hashem is part of my life. On one level, it's personal. He is my God. he is called Keli, my God. And then sometimes we refer to him as being Elokei Avi. And each one is important. They're both true, of course. On one hand, we have that HaShem is personal. HaShem is mine, in the sense that I do his mitzvahs and I feel that he has a personal relationship with me. It's a very strong impact. On the other hand, he's called Elokei Avi. He's the God of my father. What does that mean? It's special. It's holy. It's a little more removed from me, because up until now, we talked about how HaShem is personal for me. And then we talk about Elokei Avi, how he is the God of my father. In other words, the special characteristics that I have are thanks to HaShem, that he gave not only to me, but he also gave to my father and great-grandfather, all the way back up to Avraham Avinu, which we mentioned about him yesterday. So perhaps the gifts that HaShem has given me, every one of us, that are passed down to me by inheritance, are perhaps not as personal, are perhaps not as, they perhaps do not permeate my being, but at the same time, I appreciate them. There is something special about my connection to HaShem as far as the inheritance that one receives from their father or their parents, going back all the way back. Now let's translate this subject as far as emunah, faith in HaShem, is concerned. Emunah, faith in HaShem, is something which is important. It's a foundation. It's there. No one can take it away from us. But on some level, it's a bit, if you have faith, can you point to it? Not necessarily. Because it's something which is deep, deep down, and it's belief, it's faith, like we talked about yesterday. If you see it, that's not called faith. Faith is something specifically which is super rational. And so, when we say Elokei Avi, HaShem is the God of my father, that is referring to the emunah, the faith that we have in HaShem. It's not necessarily, I don't feel permeated with it. It's there, but it's something that I received, that I inherited from those before me. In contrast to Zekeli, you are my God, this is my God, that refers to another level of relationship with Hashem. That's called in the Kabbalah dat, knowledge. In other words, we have the zechut and the great merit to learn the Torah, to learn the Kabbalah. What happens when we learn the teachings of Chassidut? What happens is that the faith that we've had up until now becomes permeated within us. When we learn about it, we understand it, we appreciate it, we take it in. That's called Zekeli. It's almost as if we can point to it. You are my God. This is my God. Up until now, there was faith. I believe in Hashem, and I feel connected to Him, but it wasn't necessarily part of me. However, when I learn the Torah, I learn about HaShem, it opens our eyes that we should be able to appreciate and internalize the faith that we had up until now, and it should become more real, if you will. Not to say that, not to suggest that emunah is not real, but perhaps from our perspective that we are human beings, tangible people, we want to be able to relate to it better. When we learn the information, it becomes permeated more. So in other words, the first part of the verse, the first part of the phrase is Zeh keli v'anveyu. This is my, and I will beautify him. I've learned about him. I've internalized the emunah, the faith. And then the second part of the phrase is Elokei avi v'arom imenu. He is the God of my father, and I've exalted him. Which means that refers to the emunah, to the faith. He is the God of my father. Thanks to him that I have in my DNA this strong commitment of emunah and faith in HaShem. If so, according to this logic, according to this thought process, the verse should be reversed. That sounds cool. The verse should be reversed. First, we should have Elokei avi v'arom imenu, that he is the God of my father and I've exalted him. And then we should have Zeh keli v'anveyu. Why? Because what comes first? First, you have the foundation of the emunah, of the faith. Then step number 2, the faith seems to be a little bit lofty and you want to internalize it, you want to develop it. So then you learn and it becomes Zeh keli, this is my God, that you can see it, it's more tangible to you. So why is the verse, it seems to be backwards. First it talks about Zeh keli, internalizing it. And then he says, Elokei avi, that he's the God of my father. Why is it in this order? And the answer is that true, what we said earlier, that HaShem is Elokei avi. First we have the strong emunah, faith in HaShem, and then we bring it in, we bring it home. However, one can ask, okay, so then there's no more emunah? What happened to a person's emunah on Hashem? Now that you've taken that level of emunah that you had yesterday, and you learned Chassidut this morning, and you succeeded, and you succeeded to bring down this great level of emunah, to bring it home, to make it tangible, to learn about it, and bring it into dat. So there's no more emunah now? Now that you've brought the emunah into the dat, what's going on now? And the answer is that after we've succeeded to learn lots of Chassidus, Tanya, Ma'amarim, discourses, Sichot, there is always a higher level of godliness which we have not yet internalized. So the emunah that we had yesterday, now we bring it in. We learn about it. We bring it into our mind. It connects to our heart. But it's still not enough because there's always a higher level of emunah. Hashem is Ein Sof, unlimited. There is no limit to Hashem's greatness. And so then we have a higher level of godliness to believe in, which for now, for the time being, until you've learned more Chassidus, it's part of the DNA, part of the emunah that we were born with, that we have in our neshama. So tomorrow, we'll learn more Chassidus, and we'll bring, for example, and will bring a greater level of emunah into our hearts, into our feelings, that we should be able to appreciate the faith that we've had yesterday or today. Therefore, the order of the verse is first, Zek Keli, this is my God. This is the dot, the knowledge, the learning that I've done today. But then the next part is Elokei Avi V'Aromemenu, the God of my father, and I will exalt him. Because that's referring to the next level, the higher level of emunah, to tell us that there is no limit to how great the emunah can be. And we have to continue to always believe and simply bring it into action, into da'at, into knowledge. Now here's the cherry on the cake. The cake is quite tasty, but here's the cherry on the cake. When Mashiach comes, all we're going to do is to know HaShem. Like the Rambam says in the final halacha in the entire set of the Yad HaChazaka, U'ba'oto hazman, and in that time, Yehu Yisroel chachamim gedolim, Am Yisroel will be very wise. V'yodim dvarim astumim, they will know the secret knowledge. V'yasigu da'at boram k'fi koach ha'adam, and they will grasp the knowledge of the Creator according to the ability of man. Shenamar, as it says in the verse, Ki mal'ah ha'aretz de'at Hashem, for the knowledge, for the earth will be filled with the knowledge of Hashem, kamayim layam machasim, like the water fills the bed of the sea. So all we're going to do when Mashiach comes is we're going to learn more and more about Hashem. The revelation of Hashem will be all over the place. There will not be 1 millimeter that will not be filled with the knowledge of Hashem. And so therefore, along the lines that we've been discussing now, what are we going to be doing? We're going to be internalizing the greatness of Hashem. So if we have emunah, not if, so we have emunah, a great level of emunah, and we're going to be learning the depths of the greatness of Hashem, but then, where's the faith? There's always a greater, deeper level of godliness that we have not yet internalized and we need to learn about, and we need to have faith in. So the next level is, as we said, Elokei Avi V'Aromemenu, the God of my father, and I will exalt him. Because there's never an end, there's never a limit to Hashem's greatness. And then we'll learn more, and then we'll have more faith, and then we'll learn more, and then we'll have more faith. So in a sense, it's similar to what happens today. But really, it's much greater. Because the level of godliness will be on a much, much greater level. And also will be happening much, much faster. First of all, because all we're going to do is to learn about Hashem's greatness. And second of all, we're going to be much wiser. We're going to have much more siyata d'shmaya, much more help from Hashem. So we're going to be learning when Mashiach comes, we're going to be learning infinite levels, one beyond the other, deeper and deeper into the greatness of Hashem. Having more faith, learning more. Having more faith, learning more. More, quicker, and quicker, and it's going to be no end. Because Hashem is Ein Sof. There's no limit to Hashem's greatness. And so this sounds very exciting. Let's hope the Mashiach comes, Be'ezrat Hashem, this minute. That we should be able to learn so much more Torah, connect ourselves on the deepest levels to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Almighty, supernal being of the world. May Hashem give us the bracha that we should be able to merit Mashiach's coming and to enjoy all of these great levels of emunah, faith in Hashem, and that knowledge and learning about Hashem. Thank you very much for joining us. Bezrat Hashem, tomorrow morning we'll be learning here 9:15, continuing to learn about the emunah. And Friday morning, Kabbalah Cafe, right here at 9:30. All the best. Shalom, shalom. Have a wonderful day.